Good afternoon. My name is Parese-Silvestro, and I am an integrative nutrition health coach. Now, you might ask what that means. So let's break it down one step at a time. Integrative means to put things together. Nutrition has to do with nourishing the body and other elements of who you are. And health coaching is what I do to help others get that integrative nutrition set up in their lives. So I'm going to not read from these papers because too many people do that. So what I'm going to do is speak directly with you, to you, not at you. One of the things I love about being an integrative nutrition health coach is that we treat each individual on an individualized basis because everybody is different. So let's talk about a topic that's hot in everybody's mind right now, which is immunity. I'm not going to mention what's going on out there. Everybody knows. We don't need to talk about it. We know that everyone is concerned about their health and their immune systems. And immunity is an amazing thing in the human body. So, the body can detect a small particle. If you are allergic to bee stings, for example, to bee venom, that little bit of bee venom can send your body's immune system into overdrive to wall off and ward off that toxin to your body. So, if you think that what you're doing to your body on a major level is not a big deal, you're eating some junk food and you're not getting enough sleep, I'm here to tell you that it actually is a big deal. Reason being, if the body's immune system is so finely tuned that it can ward off pollen or a tiny bit of bee venom or whatever assault on the immune system is hitting, forks full of junky food will affect you. So let's talk about ways to boost the immunity. I don't want to harp on things that are negative. I really want to talk about things that are going to be helpful to you. And I'm going to go a little bit into each component, but I'm not going to go too deeply. We can talk about that at another time if you're willing to. If you want some more information, I'm always available and I can be reached. I'll put some links down below and I'll give you my YouTube channel at the end of the talk. But heck, I can give it to you right now. You're going to look for me at youtube.gen, 2 N's, one for me and one for nutrition, X, because I love you guys, talks.net. So it's youtube.genxtalks.net. So let's talk about food first. I grew up Italian. I made my first pot of sauce. It sounds so cliche, but it is true. When I was 9, I kind of pushed my mom out of the kitchen and I just started to cook. And for me, it was like a really fun thing. It's actually one of my passions. And it made me start to look at things like, how can food help us? How can food hurt us? How can food heal us? So, having fun in the kitchen is a big deal. But what I really like to look at is this. So this is an old saying. It's been attributed to Hippocrates. Whether that's true or not, I'm not really sure. But it's let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. So when talking about healing the body, one of the first things we have to look at is what you're doing to the body and what you're putting into the body. And one of those things would be food. So, you can either feed yourself healthy or feed yourself into illness. So another great quote that I like is by Dr. Mark Hyman. I'm not hyping anyone here, but I'm just attributing the quote to him. So if you can see this, it's what you find at the end of your fork is more powerful than anything you'll find at the bottom of a pill bottle. So I'm not telling you not to take your meds. That is not what I'm here to say. I'm not a medical doctor. I am somebody who has 30 years of passion of feeding the body properly. I've raised 3 kids, so my experience is what I'll bring to the table for you. And I always look towards what's missing nutritionally and what could be added in to help feed the body. So, food is a big component. Food is a component of nutrition. And by nutrition, we can use that word to mean holistic, global, what we do to the body. So again, food is one thing. So, there's a myth out there that calories in, calories out is what gets us healthy or sick. And, if you really start to think about that, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. So an 8-ounce serving of potato chips is certainly not equal to an 8-ounce serving of, say, spinach. They interact differently in the body. They're processed differently in the body. One, while delicious and crunchy and salty, has really no nutritional value. The other one is iron-packed. It has a lot of nutritional components to it that the body loves. So it's feeding the body through food. We can go on about that. And again, it's just something to start thinking about. What you're putting into your body affects how you are health-wise. I've talked with clients who have said to me that they changed their dietary program and didn't think that getting healthier and shedding some excess baggage on their body would actually make them think clearer. You know, we've sort of been taught also that the body's components, you know, that we're lungs, so we go see a pulmonologist, or we're a heart, so we go see a cardiologist. And the reality is we're one closed organ system. So it makes perfect sense that if you're feeding the body properly, your mind will be clearer also. So, you know, that was like a big realization that that particular client had. And I just kind of sat back and I went, well, of course, because your brain's another organ. So it's just a matter of cleansing out your body, using the right nutritional tools, feeding it with the right amount of vitamins and nutrients that it's looking for. So basically what I tell people to do is to go to what's called a whole food diet. That is the way food is found in nature. So, you know, an avocado is a food. A processed avocado baked twisted chip is not food necessarily. So moving on, we're going to go on to the next component of health and wellness and nutrition, because nourishing the body, you know, nourishment, nutrition, they all go hand in hand, similar words to mean the same sort of thing. You know, fun and having fun in the sun, if you can see that, is another thing that we need to do. We can't discount that the things that we do out there are impacting our body also. So think about it. You know, stress is a big thing in this culture. We're constantly going. You know, my husband says that I hit the ground, and the minute that my feet hit the ground, I'm like, brrr, and I am. But even I need to take a step back and assess what I'm doing. We need to not be on the go all the time in a way that doesn't incorporate fun into our lives. And you know what? I would say that fun should probably be the primary element, that anything that we do, we should bring an element of fun to it. I have a little visit from my cat. So to ad lib a little bit here, I was not going to talk about animals as a part of building the immunity, but they are a big part of it. You know, touch and responsibility for others, including the animals in our lives, give us an element of responsibility, and they give us a little feedback. Plus, touch is a primary component of healing and wellness and building the immunity. So I have my cat down here playing with my papers, so she's going to sit by my side and be my little immunity booster right now. So along with fun goes laughter. So never ever discount the healing element of laughter. So, you know, it's funny because I will wake up some days and it's been less than stellar, and I kind of want to pull the covers back over my head. But I have a responsibility to the world, to my family, to myself primarily, to get out there and to do. And, you know, I always started off and I say, if I could just laugh about things and find some humor in every situation, even when that situation may not be so humorous, then it makes life a lot lighter. So laughter is immune boosting. So we have to remember to not discount laughter as an element of immunity. So laughter as therapy is a really good thing. So the next one that I always talk about is dance and music. So music has healing properties also. You know, it strikes a chord in us. It brings back pleasure memories, pleasure moments, good thoughts of times gone by, but it also grounds us in the time that we're here. So, you know, we can't be thinking about 700 things that we're trying to do down the road if we're listening to a really good song and singing the lyrics. So what you may not think about is if you're belting it out to the tune that's on, and you know, it doesn't matter whether you're a good singer or not a good singer. I will raise my hand and tell you right now I'm not, but last night I was belting out some good Ed Sheeran. When you're singing, you're inhaling, you're actually taking oxygen into your body. So that is a really big component of getting nutrients to the body. Oxygen carries blood flow, blood flow carries oxygenated blood, sorry about that, to your system and helps you heal. It helps your brain think clearly. It helps you focus on what's now. Dancing also helps because it forces a breathing mechanism to kick in. Dancing in and of itself is incredibly uplifting and amazingly impactful on your own natural immunity. And the last one that we discount the most, I think, in this culture is sleep. So without proper sleep, the body doesn't function properly. We release hormones during our sleep. We release chemicals during our sleep that help us to burn fat. We release chemicals that help us to stay healthy. When you're sleep deprived, you actually release other chemicals that will make you feel bad, that will make you get bloaty and uncomfortable, and it forces your immune system to do other things other than function optimally. Now, a lot of people may be questioning, we have responsibility to ourselves, and I think we have a greater responsibility to foster a good immune system, because we are, like I'm an integrative nutrition health coach, we are an integrative society. And if we don't allow ourselves to function properly and integrate into that society, we have discord. We have an immune system in society that's not working perfectly. So what's interesting is, lots and lots of studies. I can post some, but I think I want people to do their own looking too. I love to put the onus back on you. I love to be able to empower people to not just listen to what I say, but to research what I say, to do their own work. We have given away power. We've taken the power of our ability to be a little bit self-sustaining when it comes to taking care of ourselves, our bodies, ourselves, our immunity, our health, and we've kind of pushed it to an outside sources. We run to the doctor if we have a sniffle. And again, I'm not telling you don't go to the doctor if you have a big thing. I'm just saying, we have to also understand that we are more powerful when it comes to self-healing. Plenty of studies, like I started to say earlier, on how people who boost their immunity heal better, heal quicker. So some people may take a step back and say, well, that's victim blaming. That's telling the person who's sick that it's their fault that they got sick, and it's their fault if they don't heal. And, it may sound like that on the surface. What it really is telling you how powerful you are in your ability to impact your own health in a way that we've kind of been told we can't do. Those things that I mentioned that I kind of tossed away, dancing, sleeping, music, laughter, healthy nutrition, those are all within our control. So, I have clients who come in and I talk to them about, underlying health causes they have. And a doctor will tell them that to control things like diabetes, for example, they need to take control of their health and nutrition. So that is really good advice. So it's coming from doctors, it's coming from health coaches, it's coming from therapists, that we can control what happens to us. We've also been given this idea that what happens to our family genetically is what we are bound to have happen. So like my father has coronary artery disease, or my mom has diabetes, or whatever that family history is. And we resign ourselves to think that that is necessarily going to happen to us. And I'm going to say that, genes do load the gun for us. We have what are called dictator genes. We have eye color, that's predetermined for the most part. We have hair color, we have height. Those are genes, those are genetic components that we don't necessarily have the ability to impact to a certain extent. However, we have what are called lifestyle diseases, and those are things that we can change no matter what your family history is. So the ability to take control of your own immune system, your own health, your own wellness is actually pretty empowering. So, I don't want to sit here and tell somebody who's like deathly ill with a certain disease that that's their fault. Never want to do that. We don't want anybody to feel guilty or full of fear or full of anxiety over what they've done to themselves. But we can talk about prevention. We can talk about boosting the immune system. So I did talk a little bit about nutrition. So, there are basic food groups that are really good for us. And it's pretty simple. Remember your mom saying, eat your vegetables when you were younger. Well, eat your vegetables. They're vitamin packed, they're nutrient packed, they're full of minerals. And they are mostly non-processed. If you're getting fresh fruits and vegetables, they're non-processed. There are certain vegetables and fruits that might be better for some people than are better for other people. And that's hard to say because each individual person processes food and nutrients differently, and their nutritional needs are different. and not just your nutritional needs are different in a different person, in each individual, but your nutritional needs are different based on season, based on what's going on with your health, based on what's going on with what stress factors in your life. So it's a matter of kind of playing around and seeing which foods work best for you. So, how do you do that? That might be a question that you ask, and that's actually a really good question. So I would say eat the food and see how you feel. If you're eating a good, clean, healthy diet, proteins, vegetables, fruits, non-processed, just basic food groups, hopefully home cooked, because home cooking puts an element of a little bit of love and a little bit of caring in it. And it gives you, again, more responsibility for what you're doing. There are anecdotal tales and also probably some studies that I haven't really looked up yet, that what you give a child responsibility for, they take ownership of. So if you have a kid in the kitchen cooking with you, a child in the kitchen cooking with you, they will be more inclined to eat healthier, and they mimic the habits that we have. So, as adults, we're children too. We need to treat ourselves with a little bit more kindness than we do. We're not just adults and we become like automatons. We need to act with that childhood abandon and have fun in the kitchen. So when you're cooking, when you're infusing that element of love and family into your cooking, pay attention to the foods that you're eating and see which ones actually make you feel good. You'll know, it's people who have inflammation in their bodies are often told to eat a diet that doesn't have nightshades in it. And the nightshades would be potatoes or peppers or tomatoes or eggplant. Those can be inflammatory foods for some people. People who have those issues know when they eat those foods, it affects them. So start paying attention to what's happening to your body when you eat a food group. So break it down, make it very simple. Maybe have chicken with spinach with some oranges and see how you feel after eating that. And it doesn't have to be that plain. You could make a spinach salad with an orange dressing. That is also nutrition. So, and being creative also boosts the immunity. We take for granted the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, that music can be so healing. The arts and the humanities, they're very amazing aesthetic needs that fuel our body and our mind for other areas like beauty. Beauty and truth, they all kind of fit in with that. So, don't discount the fact that even plating something up beautifully can make a more pleasurable meal, which then can boost your immunity. So happiness and joy and laughter and dancing, they all combine. They all combine to help a person's immunity raise up. So we covered a lot of topics here, and I think I'm going to break down a little bit what I talked about before about pets. Even though I wasn't going to, I had a little impromptu session where my cat gave me that impetus to talk about that. So, people in nursing homes often are a little bit isolated, and there have been many, many talks about bringing in animal therapy to nursing homes and bringing in animal therapy to the hospital, and people do equestrian therapy, horse therapy. Connecting with another living creature other than humans, we do that all the time, but caring for something, it takes us out of ourselves and kind of projects us out there to care for another living creature. So that, that level of caring, that level of connection, that level of touch acts as a calming factor for us, and it also boosts immunity. So there are so many things that you can do and so many opportunities that are out there to be able to boost immunity that are within our power and within our ability to grasp and do. We don't have to wait to go to, a specialist in immunity. And again, prefacing it by saying, not a doctor, not telling you not to go to your doctors, just saying that, empowerment is a big thing, and the ability to do those things for ourselves and to take responsibility and accountability for ourselves, that's a big thing. When we feel more in control of our lives, when we feel more in control of our environment, we tend to be happier. We tend to be, self-determinism. We tend to be more self-determined beings rather than somebody coming at us and telling us what to do. That is, it's a pretty cool thing. So I'm going to mention a book that I read years ago that kind of struck a chord with me because it twisted or turned around my view on life in a way that I mention particular passages from this book all the time. It's called Shelter for the Spirit. It's by a woman named Victoria Moran. And I went to see her speak at a homeschooling conference back in the day when I thought I might homeschool my kids. A little bit naive back then, thinking, I wanted kids around me all the time. Love my kids, but they went to school. And anyway, this book talks about home-based everything, cradle to basically grave, and how, we can take some control of everything that we're doing. Not to say that you have to homeschool your children or have home births or bury your loved ones at home or lay them out at home. But it was an interesting perspective on how we've kind of outsourced things outside of the house. But the one thing that she said in this book that really struck a chord with me was a paragraph on washing the dishes. And it was about being present in the moment. And it was about how you could either rebel against the fact that you have these dishes to wash and you can grouse about them and you can complain and say, I really don't want to do these dishes, or you could stay there with the dishes and you could feel the soap on your hands and look at the bubbles and marvel at how beautiful your dishes are. And that perspective kind of flipped things a little bit for me because it gave me another indicator that we are more in control of what we do than we think we are. So, all of these components do definitely add into immunity. They definitely add into what we do to heal ourselves. So, I wish we had feedback right now. I'd love to be taking some questions from anybody, but I'm more than willing to talk after this is over with people. I did mention my YouTube channel before, so I'll give it to you again. It is youtube.jennx.net. So it's youtube.jenn, two N's, X in the middle, .talks.net. So jennxtalks.net. I'll be posting videos there. I am a newbie to the YouTube world. My husband has dragged me kicking and screaming into the modern day with a YouTube channel. I talk to people a lot on a daily basis, and I get a lot of phone calls regarding questions that I'm going to address on that YouTube channel. And it's one of the reasons that I'm here to be able to let you guys know that I'm here to help you, that there is more to health and wellness than just grabbing a prescription or just giving up on yourself. There is a lot that we can do to help ourselves. And I don't have all the answers, but I will look for the answers. And I think that walking along on a journey with someone that can help you is a really big thing. 30 years ago when I started looking into health and wellness in an alternative field, with an alternative view, holistic, whole body, whole self, there wasn't a lot out there. The internet was new, and to be able to search the internet, there weren't a lot of articles on there. You basically had to go out physically to a library and look for things, or you had to make appointments with holistic practitioners. And, I was raising kids. So 26 years ago, I started with my first child, and I was in the middle of baby on hip, second one on the way, running a household. I don't think I was studying at that time. No, I had finished. But, finding things was a lot harder. And I really wished I had somebody to hold my hand with me, not to spoon feed me, but to kind of walk along on the journey with me and give me the ability to have some, feedback and to bounce things off with them. And just maybe, have someone to call up and say, hey, did you find anything about, why people with certain health conditions shouldn't have spinach, for example? So, people who are prone to certain stones, kidney stones, probably shouldn't have a lot of spinach because of the components in that spinach. A lot of research went into looking up that, where I could have bounced something off with somebody. So, I'm here to walk along with you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to investigate with you. So we're going to do a little bit of investigative wellness moving forward. We're going to walk hand in hand. We're not alone in this. And I'm going to continue to tell people that the power that they have is much more than they've been told. We've kind of been given a little bit of a, answer to an outside source. Now that may seem a little contradictory to what I just said, but it's actually not. We're actually working together, not you ceding your power, giving your power away to somebody else. So it's a definite place of empowerment, and we're going to learn together. You know, another person that I love to follow, and I'll post that, probably post some videos and some chat on my YouTube page, is a woman named Lissa Rankin. So she is an MD who believes in the mind-body connection and how powerfully our mind and our spirit can affect our body. And that goes also to that holistic sort of immunity boosting that we were talking about. She speaks about dance, she speaks about love, she speaks about connection. You know, there's a lot out in the world that is counterproductive to immunity. You know, getting into fights with people, that lowers our resistance. And excuse me, you ever notice that people who are happier and more full of joy tend to be healthier overall? They look healthier. You can see there's a glow to their skin. They tend to get less illness. You know, again, it's all about what we're doing to our bodies, putting into our bodies, putting into our minds, you know, what we're listening to. I have this thing that I like to watch home improvement channels. And the reason is I don't hear a lot of this going on. I see beautiful things being done. I can laugh along with some of the people that are on the shows, and it gives me ideas to beautify my environment. And that also is something that maybe we discount a little bit. You know, harmony in the home can also lift up your immunity. So we're looking for all these tips. We're looking for all these tricks to boost immunity. And, you know, they're right at our fingertips. They're right here, and they're so simple. You know, we can go into more depth again with them when you reach out to me, because I know a lot of you will have questions, and I'm really, really willing to answer them. I love speaking to people. I do it on a daily basis. I have a full-time position that people reach out to me outside of that position to pick my brains on things that have nothing to do with what I'm doing as a weight loss coach. And I talk to them about, you know, health and wellness in general, but mostly about building immunity. And all the things that I've shared with you here, I share with my clients on a daily basis. And it is, you know, I'm very willing to say to them, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm gonna get that answer for you. And I do. I'll reach back out to them. And I think it's a really great thing to partner with people who are willing to take control of their own lives. I think that's an admirable thing for people to take responsibility and accountability for themselves. And I applaud those of you who are doing it. And you know, anybody who's on here right now is actually one of those people, because you are seeking, you're looking for answers that you might not have out there in the world. And we're all kind of looking for that together. I mean, I think it's a really great thing to connect with some like-minded individuals and people who are, you know, looking to better themselves, their environment, their family, and ultimately the planet. You know, we are here to help each other. And part of that is building your immunity. So guys, it's been really nice. I've enjoyed this talk. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me. Again, you can go right to my YouTube channel. It is youtube.jennxtalks.net. See ya.